Hey there, listeners. You have clicked play on another episode of the spin-off show. This is Anthony, also known as The Jock from the Jock and Nerd podcast. And on this particular episode, I have on a very, very special guest. First off, she's a woman, and I haven't had very many women on this podcast, so that's exciting. I get to talk to the opposite sex for the first time in a long time on this show. But more importantly than being a woman, she is a really awesome chick to talk to. Now, by the name of the show, you'll have seen that she is a phone sex provider. Her name is Wren, W-R-E-N, and we get into phone sex. We get into her career. We get into how she got there, what she's learned about herself, and what she's learned about men and relationships. We do a lot of deep dive into relationship stuff. I thought it was a really good conversation. It definitely opened up my eyes to the fact that she's just a normal person like anyone else, and I hope you enjoy listening to me talk to the phone sex provider, better known as Wren, on the spin-off show. Check it out. This is the Jock Spin-off Show. So, Wren, what's up? This should be an interesting show.
You think?
I think so. I mean, the last time I heard you, I've heard you on The Voice from the Underground a few times, and it always starts off hot.
Hot? Wow. I feel like I'm kind of lame on their show because they talk about politics and like nerdy stuff, both of which I really don't have any reference to. So
well, I remember was not this last one. You were on This Week, but the one prior to that was the one Jason was like, "Hey, listen to this. Just listen to the first 5 minutes." And I play it, and they're like, "Hey, Wren," or whatever they say. They give you your intro, and you're like, "My panties are wet," or something like that. I'm like, "Oh, okay. This isn't just a thing for her. She just does this all the time."
It's my shtick.
It's your thing. Yeah, it's your shtick. So for anyone that's, no one's, I don't know if there's many people that have ever heard you on a podcast. Just give a brief rundown of who you are.
Who I am. I am 30. I'm a Midwest girl. Go Cubs, kill the Astros. I am a big girl. I have a house and I live a really boring, quiet life in my rural Midwest haven. But as it so happens, I have a unique profession. Do you want me to go there yet? Are we going to
go into it? We'll just go right into it.
Awesome. So for 6 years now, I've been a phone sex provider, virtual courtesan, girlfriend experience extraordinaire. And
is this phone, what is it, virtual girlfriend? Is that what this site is?
Well, my personal website is Sweet Virtual Girlfriend.
There we go.
Yeah, the site through which I take calls and texts and so forth is definitely more phone sex oriented. Mm-hmm. I just provide something a little softer, a little more meaningful, I guess.
So for you, that site is personally just you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Okay. But then is that site part of a bigger, you said it's kind of a bigger network that is a part of?
Well, okay, so my website, Sweet Virtual Girlfriend, is just me. It's my domain. But I can't take calls or anything through that site. It's essentially just a place to host my blog and, get some traffic. Right.
Got it.
So I take calls on Night Flirt, which is just a platform where anybody can put up a profile and take calls. So.
Got it. Well, I mean, the first question I have to ask you is, What did you want to be when you were a little girl and grow up to be?
A phone sex operator. God.
Really? Okay.
No. I wanted to be a ton of things. I wanted to be a truck driver and a beautician. And they don't call them beauticians anymore. I'm my grandmother's granddaughter. And I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to be an accountant, and I wanted to be honestly, at my core, and this sounds so vapid, I hate myself for saying it, but I really just wanted to be like a rich guy's housewife.
Okay.
I knew that from the time I was like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8. That's what I wanted out of life.
You know, that it's funny you say that. I was listening to a podcast with Dan Bilzerian. Are you familiar?
Mm-mm.
So Dan Bilzerian's this rich guy, always puts out on social media how he's with like women and stuff. And he was like, I don't really find like girls that are wanting to be with a rich man. Like, I don't find that to be a negative thing. Like, they like are wanting to be with me because of my money, but my money is because I am successful in XYZ. So they're really admiring my success.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a really healthy way to approach that. I'm like, because most people be like, oh, you're just a gold digger.
Yeah, no. Well, and let's be honest, some girls are
100%.
totally. So sorry.
Yeah, we got a little disconnected, but you love to talk to people.
I know, isn't that bizarre?
It's crazy.
So, yeah, I just needed I needed something where I could, work whenever I wanted to, and I was in my early 20s, so I wasn't qualified to do a whole hell of a lot. Like, I'm not a medical coder or anything. So I just remembered that time on those lines and thought, well, I know there's women that get paid to do that. So I just started investigating.
And then you found something where you get paid to have people talk to you?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. It's pretty great.
And you've been at it since your early 20s?
Yeah.
That's awesome. First off, but how does it work? So it's not like those late night things that I'm imagining or remembering when I was a kid.
No, those are usually like companies where
okay.
You're not really an employee of them. You're still an independent contractor, but you're like accountable to them. And I tried that and I sucked. I hated it. I don't like other people's rules.
Oh, what kind of rules are there?
Well, you don't get to decide what you're going to talk about or what you're not going to talk about. And if you don't want to talk about something or to someone, you're penalized. I'm not down with that. Like,
what do you not like to talk about?
Well,
like, is this known up front? If someone were to try to contact you, they know up front what you can't talk about or what you don't want to talk about?
They don't necessarily know up front, but I have an online presence. And so unless they call in and just hear my voice sample, which those calls almost always go south because they're not, they're just wanting a voice to get off to. So I have a pretty detailed profile on Night Flirt, and it's pretty clear. Like, you're not going to call me to talk about kids, or you're not going to call me to you're going to call me because this is what I offer. And that's another thing. I don't have a problem hanging up on somebody. Like, if we're not clicking, or if he's being really persistent about talking about something I'm absolutely not comfortable with, I'll just hang up. If you want to get a refund, go get it. I'll just hang up.
Really?
Yeah.
And how does that work as far as, do you charge by the minute, the hour, the half hour? How does that work?
The minute.
The minute, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
I gotta, wait, let me look up this Night Flirt thing. What is it?
NITE flirt.com.
See, I was spelling night the right way, and I couldn't find it.
I know.
And then if I just search Wren, WREN.
Yeah, that should bring me up.
All right, let's see here. Just want to see if I can find. Oh, there. I think this is you. All right, here we go. Let's see.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Look up Sweet Songbird.
No, I found you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's still if you look up Wren, it still finds you.
Okay.
Virtual girlfriend, courtesan, seductress, relationship counselor, grief counselor, comedian. Is that say comedian?
Comedian.
Comedian. What's that?
That's a female comedian.
Oh, there's a distinction?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I'm mistress and the other woman and friend. I love them all. These are all. I don't want to pretend to be someone else. She like me. Okay. So none of this role play bullshit.
I mean,
unless you like this person.
Yeah, because that keeps things spicy. That's fine. But yeah, we're just not gonna we're not gonna flip that switch like in the first 5 minutes of our conversation.
What do the first 5 minutes usually go like with someone that's like you're like clicking with? Like
a first date, just getting to know each other.
Just hanging out, getting to know each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's so different nowadays because everyone or a lot of people are my age. So I'm 31. A lot of people that are in the dating game, like they flirt just by text. Like no one calls anybody anymore.
Yeah.
So this is like old school.
It is. And a lot of people are really surprised that it's still relevant, but it's very personalized, and it's I genuinely think that anybody coming to Night Flirt or coming to any phone sex site is looking for more than they think they are. Because if you just want to get off, you can turn on a porn,
right? Or
you can go to one of those cam sites. If you come to somebody who is live and in your ear, you're looking for something a little more. And let's face it, we live in like a super cold, sterile world where people don't connect anymore. And so this is the ideal because, you have to pay for it, but you have to pay for therapy. You have to pay for an escort. You have to pay. It's really ideal.
Yeah, it's kind of like you mentioned like a sterile world, and it is like very. The flirting nowadays and all the like the dating apps are also all that stuff is all very, I mean, you see like kind of who you're talking to, but it's all, you can't tell tone. You can't tell if someone's joking necessarily. You can't really tell those things via text. So I think this is kind of a missing thing that we as humans, we like to just talk to somebody. And this has all been kind of like removed just because of smartphones and the like. So I think this kind of does make sense.
Yeah. And I mean, the majority of women on Night Flirt really do offer that more moaning and panting when the phone is picked up and wham bam, thank you ma'am. But
so you don't start off hot like that. You're like, let's just figure out if we're vibing.
Yep. Because you're not going to have sex with every single person you see on the street, like...
Probably not, no. I don't think I would, no.
Well, I'd hope not. I'd have to lose a lot of respect for you there, Tony. But
did you have any respect for me to start?
Well, that marginal introductory given respect was there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Common courtesy.
Right. No, yeah, I wouldn't bang anyone. I wouldn't bang anyone off the street.
Yeah, no. And that's the same with me. Like, and yeah, there are lots of providers who will they're really good actresses. And I can do that if I need to. Like, if I'm hustling really hard to save up for a ridiculously expensive vacation, I don't know. I've done that. But I would so rather not. I would so rather not.
You'd rather have a legit, like, we're vibing out, we enjoy talking to one another, and then let's just see what happens sort of thing. Yeah,
because if you're a guy and you're calling for some kind of fulfillment, if I'm authentically feeling you, that energy is going to be so much more fulfilling for you than if I'm going...
If you're putting on an act.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Oh, my God. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would see right through that.
Yeah.
Do a lot of guys, when they get on there, do they know what they're even looking for? Or is it just like, I'm trying this?
My guys have no idea.
Really?
Most of my guys are genuinely just thinking they're horny and they just want to talk to somebody that will masturbate with them or, listen to them masturbate or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My guys that end up being amazing typically have no idea. It just happens. And then they're like, oh, what the fuck is happening? And yeah, it's amazing.
I've heard of, when you visit strip clubs, you've heard of like girls having their regulars. Is this a normal thing too for this industry? Like you have regular guys that that call in pretty regularly?
Yeah, definitely. And that's obviously that's better for me for a number of reasons. If you're a return caller, then that is fulfilling my fiduciary.
They like what you're packing or where you're bringing out.
Yeah. But
packing?
I'm not packing.
Yeah, I was gonna say packing's not the right. The packing is not the right word there.
If they want me to, I'll pack. But yeah, it gets really intense when they return and we build, a relationship, chemistry, what have you. Yeah.
It gets intense equally as intense for you?
Absolutely. Really? Absolutely. Yeah.
So
yeah.
You've been on a number of podcasts?
Maybe like 6.
6? 7. How do podcasters find you? I was so flabbergasted when Jason was like, "Hey man, I have this girl Wren that's been on my show. You should talk to her because you do these long form conversations. I think it'd be really interesting." I'm like, "What? Like, how did you find her?" He's like, "Twitter, man." I'm like, "What?" So how do people find? Is it Twitter or like how have
it
other
is.
podcasts? Twitter, really? Okay.
It is. Yep. I used to be really, really active in cross promotion with other providers, and there's another night flirt gal who's my buddy who was starting to kind of be active on podcasts. She had kind of, I think, a pre-existing connection to somebody on a podcast. And so she would promote me and then the podcast people would follow me. And then just out of the blue one time, somebody asked me to do like kind of a bit, like a regular bit for their show. Well, that kind of turned out to be a nightmare. But through that and just promoting podcasts and people following me, people just ask me to show up. So I would do it.
I actually think, just thinking about it right now, podcasts might be almost the perfect platform for you to promote yourself because it's all audio, so it's the same format as what your business is. Yeah. A lot of people that listen to podcasts like hearing someone talk. They're usually usually have a lot of free time to like at least listen to somebody, and then you being on the podcast can kind of sell your personality, and then they're like, instead of calling a random person like Skylar over here, I'm going to call Wren because I heard Wren on a podcast and Wren sounds dope as fuck, and I'm going to call her. Yeah. So I think you should do as many podcasts as possible.
I love doing it. I took a bit of a hiatus when I sort of took a break from cross promotion and people just stopped reaching out, and whatever, that's fine. But I really do like doing it, and it is like a very similar art, and it's just fun. I love getting to know people in any venue. So yeah, it's a good time.
Now you've been on Jason's podcast. We've talked about this, and they talk politics. You're not a big politics person, though?
I mean, I'm a principled person, I know what I stand for and it's important to me. And I try to vote according to what I stand for. I try to I try to stay as involved as I can without going crazy, but like Jason is the next level. I
He
admire
is
the hell out of
insane
him because he's so smart.
He is so knowledgeable when it comes to this. I had him on my show last week. I don't know if you heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you? Okay. Well, he just drops names, and I'm going, oh, bro, I don't even know who that is.
Right? Right?
Bro, you're referencing cases that I'm just going to nod my head and act like I know what you're talking about, but I have no idea what you're talking about, dude.
Exactly. Like Sunday night, they went on a good 20-minute talk about, this certain thing going on. And I'm literally sitting on my phone playing a game, listening for that cue. And they're going to be like, what do you think, Wren? Because I had no idea. And I hate that because I should be listening. I should know what's going on in the world. But
it does make you feel like a little, if you care at least about things going on, it makes you feel like shit, man. I don't really know what's going on.
I know.
I care about these stupid things, and what really matters, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's shameful, and we all need to know what's going on. Like, the world is scary right now, and there are too many people that are either just they're generational voters. They vote the way they vote because their dad voted that way, and their dad voted the way they voted because his dad voted that way. And we all need to be more informed, and we all need to make really good choices, but it's so much.
Do you ever get anyone that calls in and goes, hey, I just want to talk politics with you. Trump's making me pissed off, and I just want to hang out and talk politics with you. Do you just immediately click? Has that ever even happened?
It hasn't happened, but as long as they called and said Trump's really pissing me off, first of all, I'd probably just immediately start masturbating. But secondly, I would love that. Now, if they called and said, make America great again, go Trump, I'd be like, does this sound like a phone hanging up? And that would be that. So I would, no, unless I thought I could humiliate them, then I might stay on.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you could take some of their dollars and then make them feel stupid, that might not be a bad idea either.
Yeah.
I don't know if I just inadvertently encouraged people to call you and troll you. I apologize if that's the case.
No, as long as they want to talk about how much Trump sucks, or as long as they're willing to be humiliated if they don't, then it's all good.
So when you're on these other shows, I remember we had our little chat prior to this, 2 weeks ago. I don't know, was that a week or maybe more than that? It doesn't fucking matter.
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But we had our little chat, and you challenged me to make this different than your other podcasts. So what's the typical thing people ask you that when you're on other shows besides Voice from the Underground? Because Voice from the Underground literally just treats you like you know just as much about politics as everyone else in the group. They just treat you like they don't even. It's like you're the phone sex provider right from the beginning, but then the rest of the show you're just Wren. It doesn't fucking matter, which is kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, they're good to me. No, I mean usually, everybody asks the same questions, like, what's your craziest call? And do you actually, have fun with the guys? Or are you just, working a crossword puzzle? It's just boring. And, I mean, granted, your audience isn't the same as all those other audiences, so those might genuinely be things your listeners want to know, but I don't know.
I don't know what my listeners, when they tune into this show, I don't know what the fuck they're going to think to expect. They might think that it's just me and you flirting for an hour, or they might just think it's me calling you, recording a bit where I'm recording me, I'm paying you right now to do this, and you you fully agreed that I'm going to have phone sex with you, and then I just put it out.
Trust me, listeners, that is not happening.
She's not making any money off this, unfortunately.
Not.
I appreciate your time, because I know you could be just getting all those dollars right now from one of your regulars, but instead you're hanging out with me talking about bullshit.
I'm kicking it with Tony Tone. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
That's awesome. I remember You also, I'll just bring it up. You sent me this thing. And you're like, do you have a girlfriend? Because I don't want to piss her off. I was like, no, we're good. You don't have to worry about that.
Like, okay, here's why.
Okay.
Because not this past time, but the last time I was on with Voices from the Underground.
Okay.
Like, I knew that Jason and Haas were married, and I'm still gonna like flirt with whoever I talk to because I just flirt. It's not even entirely a bit. It's just who I am.
Yeah, it's like breathing for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was laying it on thick with TJ. Number one, because let's be honest, his voice could like melt an Eskimo, but
he has the one of the best voices. I've had him on my show, and all the girls that I know, I had them listen to the show, and they're like, he has a hot voice.
Christ, and he's just as easy to look at. I got to see him.
He's a good-looking dude, yeah.
So, I was laying it on thick, and then I find out 2 months later that he got married, and I'm like, I hope to Jesus that the woman who you put a ring on her finger wasn't listening and thinking I'm some whatever. So, yeah, I just don't want to piss women off. I love women, and I don't want any girlfriend or wife or fiance or even a side piece being like, get up off my man, get up off my... Tony's mine.
But there's no real threat to you. How are they even they're not going to find you.
Well, they're not going to find me, but I'm a threat, all right. Believe that.
I'm just saying, the girl, even if you flirt with me this entire time, and I had a girlfriend, like, if she got really fucking pissed about that, I'd be like, chill. What is wrong with you? I'm hanging out. I'm talking to someone via a podcast right now. I'm not even calling this person, like, and giving them money and having them flirt with me. We're just talking. Like, I don't know. I feel like that'd be really insecure of the girl. But then again, girls can be pretty insecure sometimes, I guess.
All genders can be insecure. But
that's true. Guys and girls. And yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're Gucci with me. You don't have to. You don't have to worry about that. I am like recently single though. I'm like not recently. Not recently. What? Probably like 5 months. I don't even know.
Let's talk about it. How long was the relationship?
It was only like a year, if that. Maybe like 11 months.
Okay. So, what happened?
You know, it's one of those things where, legitimately, you just realize maybe 5-6 months in, at least in this time in our lives, it just wasn't like we just weren't getting along. Like, it legitimately just didn't work. Like every, like, you know, when like little things turn into big fights, I think that's a huge red flag. I think I think that when you're having some sort of conversation and the type of sauce that you order for your fries or your chicken tenders doesn't match what the girl wanted or you didn't ask, I think that, and that turns into a huge argument about whether we should be together or not, I think that's a big red flag.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. If you're not eating your fries with ketchup mixed with mayonnaise, then what are you even doing on this planet anyway?
I'm actually not a big ketchup person.
I'm not, but if you mix it with mayonnaise and give me some waffle fries.
Waffle fries are the bomb. But you're from the Midwest, right? Mm-hmm. Do you eat hot dogs with ketchup or mustard?
I try not to eat hot dogs as a general rule. As a general
rule, because it's pig. What's it? Because it's pig entrails.
Mystery meat. Yeah, yeah. I try not to do that.
All right, fair enough. Because I was gonna say, if you eat hot dogs with ketchup and you're from like the Chicagoland area, that is fucking blasphemous.
I am from the Chicagoland area. I live in downstate Illinois now, but I have eaten a hot dog when there is no other option and I'm like at a party where all they're serving is hot dogs. I have had a hot dog with ketchup. I
mean, it's not like the worst thing in the world. I'm saying if that's your preference and you grew up in Chicago, I don't know what's going on with you.
No, I love mustard.
Yeah, mustard's legit.
I love brats with mustard.
Brats and mustard are awesome too.
I'm fasting. We got to stop talking about food.
Why are you fasting?
Because I make bad choices and I wanted to do something drastic before vacation because I'm going to eat like a fat girl on vacation.
What's your fast? Is this like a cleanse sort of thing?
No, I'm just fasting 16 hours a day, so I only eat from like 10 in the morning till 6 in the evening.
Oh, no shit. And then no liquids either?
Water. Yeah.
Water. And is this just, is like a diet to lose weight?
No, just to like train my brain to not like, I'll eat at like 10:30 at night and it's something bad. And I need to train my brain to like not eat just because I can. Like, and it's totally working. I actually look forward to eating now, and in those hours that I can't eat, it's not like, oh God, I wish I could eat that. It's just like, oh, it's 8 p.m. I can't eat right now, so I'll wait till morning. And it's working.
Do you feel your body getting like hungry after 6, or is it like now trained to know we're using the reserves here. We're burning the fat and the carbs that we have in the body right now, and we're not eating till 10 o'clock the next day.
No, I'm only hungry in the morning.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
So and how long are you going to do this fast? Is this like how long can you do a fast?
I don't know if there's like a recommended time. I mean, either way, it's really not good to like eat within a couple hours of bedtime. But
yeah, I heard that from my mom when I was growing up.
Yeah,
I eat drunk food all the time, so unfortunately, I don't follow it.
Yeah, you're a man. Men are different. Like,
yeah, I got a really fast metabolism too, so I can't compare.
I used to. No, I'm leaving on Thursday morning for vacation, and all bets are off from that morning until I get back home.
Do you want to talk about where you're going?
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Where are you going?
It's epic. I am getting on the train in Chicago, and I'm taking like a sleeper car to Seattle.
Oh, nice.
So like 2 days on the train, and then I'm staying in Seattle night, and going like to Pike Place and all that Seattle stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if I have time, and then I'm taking a 7-day cruise to Alaska.
Oh fuck! On one of those all-inclusive cruises.
Yeah.
What cruise line?
All in America.
Oh, okay. I've done a few cruises, but not up to Alaska. That's gonna be legit.
I know. I'm so irrationally excited. I can't even handle it.
Is this a solo trip?
No, it's not.
No. Do you want to talk about who you're going with?
A travel companion.
A male or female, or do you prefer not to say?
A travel companion.
A travel companion. Okay, so this will be a fun trip.
Yeah.
Have you done cruises before?
I have only done one.
Okay.
And I gotta say, I'm a bit of a cruise snob because my first cruise, I went for broke and I did Disney, like right off the bat.
Oh, jeez. Those are way over the top.
Yeah. I had never been to Disney World even. And I had just heard so many people talk about like the quality of the line and everything. And it was, let's see, that was 4 years ago. So I was like 26. It was my dream as a 26-year-old still to meet Cinderella. So
where the fuck are you gonna? Do you realize that this isn't Cinderella's not a real person, right?
Tony, this conversation might be over if you keep talking like that.
Oh, so you want to meet? Okay, let's keep going. You want to meet this Cinderella, okay?
And Snow White. And
Snow White.
So I took a Disney cruise,
okay.
And it was. Like, like it's not, what are those really fancy cruises? Oceania or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not that, but it's definitely top of the line in the category it's in. So
you were spoiled right off the bat.
Yeah. I decided on that boat that I would never sail Carnival. Coincidentally, Holland America is owned by Carnival, but its ratings are much better. So fingers are crossed.
I did a Carnival cruise. Granted, I was in college, and I didn't know any better. I thought it was fine.
Well, yeah, when you're in college and you're all about that life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What life are you about now? The relaxation life?
I'm an old lady. I'm an old lady.
You're not old. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, no, I'm not old, but I'm an old lady. Like...
Old soul, maybe.
Yeah. I have a quiet life. Like the agent told me when I booked it, he's like, you sound pretty young. And I feel like I need to warn you that on this ship, carpet kind of gets rolled up at like 8 o'clock. Sold. Like,
You're like,
take my money, take double my money, go.
Do you get motion sickness on the boats?
I only did the first time on the very last night because the waters were pretty rough.
My recommendation is buy some Dramamine and just take it.
Oh, I have Dramamine. I'm going to just stay ahead of it this time for sure.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I do when I've been on cruises. I pop in that Dramamine. I pop it like Advil. And just and then it was like perfect. I didn't feel anything. And I usually get motion sickness pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay ahead of it this time because it's like, more than 2 times as long as my first cruise. So
you gonna gamble on the boat?
They have a casino, but I am so not a gambler. I'm not a control. I'm too much of a control freak.
I haven't noticed that. I mean, you did mention that you would hang up on a caller if they weren't talking about the things you want to talk about. But other than that, I don't think you're much of a control freak.
That is not exactly what I've said. Yeah, and I don't have disposable income like that. Like, I spent a lot of money on this vacation, and then I'm gonna like gamble away hundreds of dollars while I'm no.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I go to Vegas a lot, and I used to be into the gambling thing, and then I found like the parties and the pool stuff, and I was going to myself, why am I going to risk my money on things that I don't even know if it's probably going to lose it. If I'm going to lose my money, I'm going to lose my money on the things that I actually like and have a little bit of control over. So yeah, I've been off the gambling thing for like 10 years now, or 9 or 10 years. Yeah. But I used to go to Vegas and just fucking spend tons of dough just on sports betting and like roulette and blackjack, and now I can't do it anymore.
See, no, that has never held an appeal for me. Actually, my favorite Mr. Caller right now, he goes to Vegas like once a year, I think, and we've had like extensive talks about that. I've never had the desire to go, like maybe to go to a couple shows and walk around and see all the flashy lights. But what you have
no desire to go to Vegas.
I would love to drive out there because I love the Western United States. I love the scenery. But most things that other people want, I don't want.
Like what? Yeah. What else? What are most things that? Give me another example.
Well, like another destination example. So I lost my dad this year, and last year...
You lost your what?
My dad.
Okay, sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Last year through the summer, I was like, anywhere you want to go, we'll go.
Okay.
And he picked Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I'm like, really? Where all the trashy people go thinking they're in the Maldives? Like...
Wait, what is Gatlinburg, Tennessee?
You've never heard of Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge and like those plastic tourist traps in the Smoky Mountains?
Oh, is that what that is?
Have you ever been to Branson, Missouri? Have you ever heard of that?
I think I've heard of it. I don't do the touristy thing though. All that. Well,
yeah, good for you. But you go to Vegas. Hello.
I go to Vegas, but Vegas is like adult playland. That's why I go to Vegas.
Yeah, Gatlinburg is like a big old trashy tourist trap. I'm sorry. Okay, my apologies to your listeners that love Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's beautiful. The mountains are beautiful. The scenery is beautiful. The offerings are not.
You got that one person that was probably going to spend at least 1,000 minutes with you on the phone that was from Gatlinburg. It's like, fuck you, Wren. I'm out on you.
I'll cut my losses because I wouldn't have anything in common with him anyway, probably.
Probably not.
Yeah. He probably wears a MAGA hat.
You are just full on. If you're a MAGA person, you're out. Wow.
Yeah.
That's like probably 40% of this country at least.
Well.
I don't even know. I don't even know the percentages. I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. I just pulled that number out of my ass.
Yeah, I hope it's not oh my God, I hope it's not 40% of the country.
I mean, I think there's
scary.
There's levels to it. I don't think there's the people that voted for him and are just like, I'm fed up with the left and how they're fucking like treating me. So I don't think they're full on like MAGA. I think they're just like, well, I just hate the left, so I'm going to go vote for the right. And then there's full on like hardcore MAGA people, and then there's full on like racist motherfuckers. So it's like probably like a spectrum.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I am probably right.
You're right, Tony. You're right. I hope you record that and play it over and over, because
you saying you're right, Tony. You're right.
Yeah.
If you would have said it like in a more like if you were orgasming like at the same time, I probably could have used it. But
you
have to
pay for that.
Yeah, you have to pay for that, and I mean we're developing chemistry, so maybe like another time I'd pay for it. But right now we're just chilling, hanging out. So going up to Alaska, do you like stop in Alaska?
Yeah, there's 3 stops in Alaska, and then we're stopping in Victoria, British Columbia on the way home.
Oh, nice.
Or on the way back to Seattle, and then I'm flying first class home.
Jeez, first class. Look at you.
Well, I found really good deals. Like, I'm not a big baller. I found amazing deals that I could not pass up. So, yeah.
The fuck are you doing in Southern Illinois? You brought that up earlier.
I hate the city.
Really?
Yeah, I have number 1, I have really bad anxiety. And number 2, I hate, if I have to go there, I don't want it to take longer than 10 minutes.
Okay.
I hate the idea of driving 45 minutes to get my dinner. You know, like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like small town life. I don't love the mentality, you know, come on.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like small town life.
What do you like the most about small town life?
Just the atmosphere. Like, people are just nicer.
Does your current small town, do they know who you are?
No. They think I'm like, I don't know what they think. But now that I have this side gig, I'm kind of establishing myself as that. So I think that's just what they associate me to. So that's fine.
The side gig, I heard it on Voice from Underground. You're in sales?
Yeah.
Nice. You liking it?
So far, yeah.
Huh?
So far.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's not as fun as the phone sex operating.
What could be as fun as that?
Or phone sex providing. Providing, right. We're not old.
Yes.
What was I going to say? So, here's my question for you, and you can choose not to answer it if you want. As you're in your career as a phone sex provider, have you had relationships with other people as well, like personal, like physical relationships?
Wait, what? Like
boyfriend, girlfriend type stuff?
Separate from? Yes.
Separate from. Okay. How does that?
What are you asking?
So, let's say you're doing your career and you've been doing this 6-8 years, whatever. Have you had a boyfriend during this time? I should have just asked it like that.
I've had a significant other, yeah.
You've had a significant other? How does that conversation go?
It's pretty forward. Well, and if I'm really wanting for a real life,
sure,
a tangible.
Although this is not fake. The stuff that's happening over the phone isn't fake.
Tangible.
Sure, tangible. Right. Tangible, where you can fucking grab that shit.
Oh, don't grab her by the pussy. If I really am into somebody and I want to be with them, I'm accommodating. Like, I'll be like, okay, if you don't want me to do this, then you should probably like pay me or find me a job. But it's never been a problem because it's separate, like it's just separate.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know how I'd feel about it. I'm trying to put myself in that situation because you're making emotional connections, which is men. I think men are more afraid of the physical connection. than the emotional stuff, whereas girls sometimes are more afraid of the guy being emotional with someone than physical. But you're making emotional connections with these people that are calling in. I don't know if I could handle it or not.
But you have to kind of look at it. Okay, if your boo were a character on a soap opera, would you have a problem with that?
Probably not, unless she started making out with the hot actor, and then I'd go,
camera.
and then I'd go, how much are you getting paid for that, hun? Oh, okay.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, like actresses, they have to have physical scenes with other people, and when you're constantly with somebody like that, and then you have to do this. How do you know that there isn't a bit of a spark there? Like, it's just separate. Like, that side of me. Okay. Do I have time for a story?
Fuck yeah, you have time for a story.
Okay, so I had a guy who called me for about 2 years, and we were like, it was really hard for me to just not say, okay, I'm just going to go be with you, because we were just like that. And he was married. And
in this 2 years, did you ever like exchange like pictures of one, like that you would know what he looked like?
Yeah, he would like get on camera for me and everything. Oh,
okay. I didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah, I don't, but he would.
He would. Okay.
Yeah. So, we were like close, talking multiple times a week, close. And I actually was super encouraging of him trying to work things out in his marriage, because I think everybody deserves to be happy, especially if you're married and your spouse is making you happy. Like, you should have that. And I would encourage that. And he was just so pessimistic about it. And so we got really close. And finally, just kind of out of the blue, he told me that he felt like he needed to work things out with his wife, and that he couldn't continue to be with me while he did that. Okay, fine. Happy for you. I'm going to miss you like hell, but happy for you. So we continued to like occasionally email. We learned.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was hard. We learned that a few months later, we were actually going to be at the same Cubs game at Wrigley.
Oh, fuck.
So I'm like, well, that's nothing, because Wrigley holds like 30,000 people. What are the odds I'm actually going to see him? He was sitting about 12 feet in front of me.
Oh, so you knew him. You knew what he looked like, and you're like, oh, shit, that's fucking him. Yeah. And he only has the idea of your picture online, but he wasn't looking for you.
My pictures are old AF.
Old as fuck.
Hair's different. Like, I'm incognito. So, yeah, he was sitting right there.
Okay.
And it was the most complex and surreal and bizarre feelings I've ever had in my life, because it was like, there was me who was like, oh yeah, that guy used to be like my customer, my caller. And then there was the part of me that got really attached. It's like I had split personalities. There was like the part of me that got really attached to him and really missed him and really mourned for my loss of him. And it was crazy. So like, that's kind of how this is, there's this part of me that's like, this is a job, and yeah, I have these connections, and yeah, I have these feelings, but at the end of the day, my life is most important. And then there's the part of me that's like, oh, this guy's really great. I really love spending time with him. And so like
there's a part of you that can go, this can get really real. Like that was an occasion where it was like, this is feeling not like work anymore. Huh. Has that happened since? Or has it happened? Yeah, but not to that level?
Not quite yet. No.
Not quite yet.
It's kind of happening at the moment, but not quite yet. there. Not quite yet.
Interesting. I'm like pulling out like the magnifying glass right now. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like on the trail to figure out what's going on with Wren right now.
Yeah.
Huh, it's kind of happening right now, huh?
Yeah.
He's so this guy is hitting all the right strings verbally.
Yeah?
Huh.
I don't know, we just have a really good connection. And
He's very funny because I heard on the other show on the Voice from the Underground you prefer someone that's funny.
leg spreader, yeah.
Leg spreader right off the bat. If guy is funny, you're in. You're like I don't
genuinely care. Witty funny, not like cheesy telling jokes and thinking he's funny.
Not like weird pickup lines like they were giving you earlier.
You know what? TJ could walk up to me and tell me he farted, and I'd be like, okay, let's go. For real, though.
TJ has that voice. No, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, he's funny and just, yeah.
What's so funny, obviously, do you get into, like, career with these guys?
Do I what?
Do you get into their career and go, oh, wow, like, you're successful?
Well, I mean, you know, I don't really talk about their job unless they want to.
Yeah, I guess if they bring it up.
Some guys need an escape from that, you know.
Right.
It's kind of evident that, you know, if they are maintaining something with me, that they're successful or they're up to their eyeballs in hawk. Like, you know. Because,
or they just spend their money completely irrationally.
Well, yeah. So,
although you would probably argue no time spent with you is irrational.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, I'm having a good time.
See? Just imagine if you're paying me.
Just imagine. Holy fuck. Next level.
So, yeah, it happens.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And then are you, like, having an internal battle where you're like, fuck, like, I need to, like, do you have, like, safeguards on your heart or on your emotions, or are you just like, whatever happens?
No, I have boundaries in place, and they're very important, and they're non-negotiable. Yeah. But it's hard, you know, because you're like, especially when they don't live very far. It's like,
temptation.
You're just like, right.
It's like, you live in Carbondale, and I live in Southern Illinois. Let's fucking hang out.
Hard.
Or you live in Edwardsville. That's super close.
What the fuck do you know about Edwardsville?
What, SIU Edwardsville? I live in Illinois.
Right. I'm not too far from Edwardsville. My cousin played basketball for SIUC, though.
Is that right?
Long time ago. Long
time ago? Yeah. We're probably like the same age.
Yeah, I'm 30.
Yeah, I'm 31.
Yeah.
But I don't live in Southern Illinois, so you can't reach me.
Damn it. I was banking on that.
Yeah, and I live in the city too, so you'd have to get over your anxiety issues. You'd have to get over all your fears of tall buildings to get over here.
I don't fear tall buildings.
I know, I'm fucking
Chicago.
with you.
Like, I used to go to Chicago monthly. And my mom lives in the region, if you're familiar with the region. The region, yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar with the region.
Mm-hmm.
Does your mom
know? Sort of.
Sort of. What does she think she knows?
That I help people on the phone.
So she probably thinks you're like a counselor.
Something like that. Yeah.
Like a drug counselor. Or an AA account, like an Alcoholics Anonymous. She's like, my daughter is the best. She just is so altruistic and cares for these people. Yeah, you're basically a hero to her.
She has a pretty good idea, I think.
Yeah, she just doesn't get talked about because, like, this is fucking awkward. Yeah. It's my mom.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
All right, here's a question for you. Let's estimate. How many people do you think you've talked to? Let's just throw a number out there.
Oh my God. Probably. Oh man. Probably more than 10,000.
Oh fuck. All right. So in your 10,000 interactions, what's the common thing you've learned about men? Or what have you learned about humanity?
There is no common thread.
Nothing. Okay.
If anything, I would say that men are so guilty of so many of the same things that women get a bad rep for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like being overly emotional, probably?
Being emotional and needy and sensitive and a little paranoid and yep.
Yeah, I think I think most men are also those things. It's just in our society it's not coveted to be like that. Yeah. And I mean, I would say though that to our defense, a lot of women don't like when a guy is sensitive right off the bat.
Right.
They want, a lot of women prefer a man's man. They want someone to take charge a little bit. Like they enjoy that.
Yeah.
So there is but I agree. There's a ton of, I mean, I can be fucking emotional if I need to be emotional. Like that, all guys can be like that. So so that's what you've learned is that most of guys are, a lot of the guys that you've talked to are just as needy and just as emotional as any woman would be.
And erratic and yeah, for sure.
Erratic.
Emotionally,
okay.
yeah.
All right, here's the common question now, because I asked you what you think you would learn or what you've learned about people. The common question that everyone's going to ask me, why I didn't ask you, and you probably already know, is what's the craziest thing that's happened to me?
I had no idea you would say that.
I have to ask. Everyone's going to be like, dude, why don't you ask that?
Well,
she's a phone sex provider.
So surprising.
Right? Hey, at least I didn't do it right off the bat. It's been 55 minutes since we've started.
There are so many stories, but the one that, there are two that totally stand out.
Okay.
When I very first started, this guy called me and he was like, he was being really weird. He's like, I want to put my dick in something. And I'm like, back then I didn't have the approach I do now. And I was like, okay, I just need to take calls and I need to be a good phone sex.
So you're just like, I need to play along right off the bat.
Yeah. Okay. He's like, I need to put my dick in something. And I'm like, well, why not me? Blah, blah, blah. And so he's like, no, something around my house. And over a few minutes, it got to the point. Oh, here's another thing about men. They're way more passive aggressive than they give themselves credit for.
Okay. All right.
So, it's becoming very obvious that he has something very specific in mind.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, I don't have track cans in your house and I'm not a fucking mind reader. So why don't you just tell me what you want to fuck? And then I'll be like, hey, go fuck that. So he wanted to fuck a frozen chicken.
Okay.
And
where do you play in this?
I don't know if he actually did it, but I'm like, fuck yeah, fuck that frozen chicken. Your dick might fall off, but go ahead. And so he was alleging that he did. I don't know if he actually was or if it was just a bit for him and he did that to phone sex girls for shock value, but I was like, all right.
Huh. That wasn't what I was expecting to hear. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but yeah, fucking a chicken.
Yep.
Fucking
frozen
weird.
Chicken.
Okay, so that's the one story.
Okay, so the second guy, total run-of-the-mill, older, successful, the guy you see in commercials and, just totally normal dude.
Okay, I imagine his name is Bartholomew.
Okay, Bartholomew.
Okay.
So Bartholomew calls me and he wants to go on cam really badly. Oh, no, you both can't. He wants
to go
on
your
cam.
dogs?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
Real bad. He wants to go.
He wants to be on cam.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. So he goes on cam. He is wearing a bra and a tutu. Now, this isn't the irrational part. The fact that he's wearing a bra.
I'm already laughing. All right.
He's wearing a bra and a tutu and a headband from Claire's with a Disney character or something on it.
Okay.
And then...
Is he attractive?
He's not bad. It's
Not
not
bad.
ugly.
Not ugly. Okay.
So then he wants to sing me his songs.
Okay.
He stands up in his tutu and he starts singing like this perverse Weird Al Yankovic parody style version of I'm a Little Teapot, only it's about his dick.
Okay.
So he starts dancing and he lifts his tutu and his ball sack is decorated with red lipstick with a smiley face. I will never unsee that.
How do you not start just laughing?
Well, that's what he wants you to do. Of course you laugh. That's what he wants you to do.
But ball sack is pretty, like, not the best thing to look at.
I love the male anatomy, like, with all my heart.
Really? Even ball sack?
I am not inviting unsolicited dick pics, but I love the male anatomy.
Even ball sack, though? It looks like... I don't even know what that looks like. I can't even describe it. It looks like the gobbler on a turkey.
Well, some do, but
yeah.
No, I love the male anatomy.
Okay.
Love it.
I think ball sack is nasty.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Not great.
It's not the best.
But,
female anatomy is much more preferred on my end, but...
Well, I'd hope so. So yeah, I will forever, even if I go blind or even if I have dementia, I'll probably always be able to picture that in my head.
You'll always remember Bart's red testicles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, this didn't disappoint these stories.
I knew they wouldn't.
But for the most part, though, the people that call in, I get the idea that the most part the people that call in are pretty normal. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I get a lot of I get submissive guys. I get the occasional sissy / cross-dresser, but I really have no idea what to do with them, and that's not my scene. Like, I can be dominant, but I don't really resonate with the sissy things. So I have friends that do, I'll just send them along to them. But what's the sissy things?
Well, like when they want to wear pantyhose and panties, and
but then how does that work? I don't understand how that works on the phone. So they tell you that, and they're like cammed up.
They tell me that. Sometimes they want to be on cam. Sometimes they'll send pictures. Sometimes they're not. I think genuinely, sometimes they're not even actually dressed that way. They just fantasize about being liberated enough to be able to.
Yeah. And is this actually using a phone? It's funny.
Yeah, I have a landline. I'm OG. Yeah.
That's like plugged in landline?
Well, it's like a cordless phone.
I was picturing, like I mentioned before, an old rotary phone, and you have it like up on your ear, and then you have like that attachment to the back of the phone so that it rests on your shoulder.
That purple light in the background, and
and you're just chilling on the recliner.
My oiled up cleavage, yeah.
Do you have to get in the mode where you're like, okay, it's 10 p.m. and it's going to be from 10 to whatever, and I got to get in the zone and be ready to take calls. Like, I got to put on my favorite outfit and feel fucking sexy as hell and be ready to go. Or are you like, I can do this in my sleep. I'm in my fucking pajamas right now.
Yeah, no, the latter. Like, I live in a tank top and a pair of panties. Like, that's my home wardrobe, and I have a dedicated space in my house that is not my personal bedroom, where 9 times out of 10 I take calls just because it's a great atmosphere. So, and I'm laying down, I'm in bed, I'm listening, and yeah.
You're seated right now, right? Good. Keep this professional, Wren.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tempting.
I don't have that TJ voice, unfortunately, so I can't just say random things and you just get turned on. I actually have to try to think a little bit.
Nobody has TJ voice, but I should be like, we shouldn't be talking about TJ because TJ's jealous.
I know. So, that guy he doesn't think that he's my boo. Like, he's my He's my side piece. Like, he doesn't. He threatened to throat punch me on his show, but he talks like that when I'm not around. When I'm around, he knows his place, and I only call him. He never calls me.
He's gonna be really mad I started this conversation. Oh my gosh!
I have brought him up a few times because he does have a sexy motherfucking voice, but he knows his role. He knows his role in this relationship.
Sexy motherfucker. Yeah. But y'all do you. It's the 21st century, so you guys live and let live. Love wins.
It's funny because he's a very religious guy and has like a good straight and narrow life, and I'm always joking around now that he's my side piece. And he's probably like, this motherfucker.
Yeah, it's funny because like I could even see him Sunday night because we did like this Zoom thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I can't really tell if he's joking and like genuinely agitated or if he's just like this fucking asshole that is putting with that shit.
Well, you saw our logo, right?
Yeah.
So I'm the guy without the beard.
Well, yeah, I can see your thing when you email me.
Oh, is that right? Is my face on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Aww.
I look like I'm 12.
Well, that just ruined it. Yeah, no, I can see you.
I haven't. I don't think I've aged since 18 because I'm part Filipino.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm Filipino and Polish, but the Filipino side is more dominant for me, at least. And,
good for you.
Yeah, and if you've ever seen, like, Asians just don't age, or black people, honestly, but Asians people don't age at all. So I think I'm going to look like this till I'm like 45.
Lucky bastard.
But but my insecurity here is I'm getting like gray hairs on like my sideburns, and I'm getting a little freaked out about it.
Okay, number one.
Yeah.
There is an alarmingly increasing number of women out there who are hot as fuck for that shit.
Really?
For real. You know what? Since I've been too young to even be able to rationally say this, I've been hot for silver foxes.
Yeah, but it like goes against my look. I look like I'm 21 and I have gray hair.
That's the best part though, because like there are a lot of people that show up in Twitter feed. There's one, oh gosh, I don't know if he's a model or I don't know, but he always shows up in my Twitter feed. Somebody posts pictures of him and he looks young, but he has this like real tight, clean, trimmed gray hair, and it's just like,
really?
Oh fuck, come here right now.
No, I've been taking like the little tweezers and like plucking them. I can count them.
Stop it.
I can count them. There's probably like 15 gray hairs on like each side.
Stop that shit.
Stop it? You think so?
Yeah.
Really? I don't know.
mean, who knows more about what women like? Women or you?
Debatable.
Seriously, stop that shit.
Stop it. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. I'll take that into consideration because it is a fucking pain in the ass to have to pluck these hairs. Sometimes I miss and I pull like a regular brown blackish hair and I'm like, fuck, that's like some of the good hair.
Yeah.
But the good thing for me is I have really thick hair. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm not, at least on I think it's my mom's dad's side, they never went like completely bald. So I'm not losing my hair, which is good. I'd rather have gray hair than lose my hair.
I'd rather have either down between my legs. I mean, whatever, but...
What'd you say?
Nothing. Nothing.
You'd rather... Okay, all right.
Yeah, quit worrying about that shit. Like,
you think so?
Yeah. If you're worried about vapid shit, you're going to get a vapid girl.
A vapid? I haven't heard anyone say vapid in a really long time. I'm going to have to... Vapid.
Nothing to offer.
Yeah. But the thing is like, I'm pretty confident in myself. I think I have a very engaging personality, but I respect like someone that can talk to me for a little bit and not talk about just stupid shit. So I don't think I'll ever get a vapid girl. Maybe at least for not like a one night. Like a one night maybe, but like a relationship, I don't think I could deal with a vapid. I don't think a vapid girl would interest me.
Well, then quit worrying about vapid stuff. And if your hair goes gray, let it go gray.
Let it go gray? Okay, I'll take it from you. I'll let my hair go gray.
Wren says.
Relationship advice from Wren.
Yep.
Okay, here's a good one. Here's a question. I'm sure you've had, in your 10,000 conversations, you've had guys bring up relationship stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned about relationships from these men?
Oh, wow. That I'm not sure I want one.
Ever?
I mean, I do, but I have learned that, yeah, see, this might get too serious. Like,
hey, this is a serious podcast.
I can tell. I've learned that people aren't willing to invest as much as they expect. I've learned that relationships are very flimsy. I've learned that relationships are messy, and that I mean, it's definitely taught me about what I want in a relationship, because you know what, nobody wants somebody who's going to step out of the relationship and find fulfillment somewhere else.
No, that's got to be like one of the most heartbreaking things ever.
Yeah. And I'll be the first to agree. I'll be the first to proclaim that if you're in a relationship and you're not giving your partner your best self and fulfilling your partner, they should either leave or get fulfilled. Because it's your job. It's both people's job in a relationship to do that. And it doesn't happen. And that's sad. So I've learned that they're flimsy.
What do you think if you had to guess, how many people do you think are cheating on their significant others? Like, what's a percentage?
65 to 70.
Damn. I would argue it's probably pretty high too.
Yeah.
I feel like I heard this one time from a guy I had on the show. His name's David Taylor, but it wasn't on my show. But he said it on actually Voice from the Underground, and I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, most people, when it comes to anything, especially relationships, most people only want the good, but they don't want to deal with the bad. And there's good and bad in everything, in relationships, in owning a house and owning a car, career, everything. There's good stuff and there's bad stuff, and you don't get to choose only the good stuff. You have to deal with the bad stuff as well. Yep. I feel like most people, they get in their relationships and they have these ideas of how it's supposed to be, and then but all the other bullshit, they're like, I'm not going to compromise on any of that stuff.
Yep.
So then they look for like, and then that bad stuff starts to, like, they don't even deal with it. So then it starts to like egg them on or like eat away at their soul, and they start to look for fulfillment in other places. At least that's where I've seen. Yeah.
And honestly, like, I'm sort of non-traditional when it comes to relationships. Like, I think it's okay if two people need to find, because I don't think one person can be all things for another person.
No.
I think it's okay if they're not, and if that person needs to find something somewhere else. But that needs to be addressed in the very beginning. Like, you know what? I know that I'm kind of hard to please, and I know that I have really high expectations, and you know, I just have these ideals that I'm not entirely sure one person can fulfill, and maybe, you know, we need to talk about whether or not we're willing to address that in an adult way. That happens. But we've always been so shamed and conditioned into thinking that, you know, relationships have to only be between two people. And, you know, like.
I mean,
missionary
religion's
sex
a big...
every Thursday night. And,
religion's a huge part of that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we're conditioned to believe you're supposed to have one partner for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Missionary sex. What are your thoughts on missionary sex?
Well, okay, wait. I mean, I love missionary sex. I love looking in my partner's eyes. I love that, like, well, you're not paying me.
You can get as detailed as you want.
I bet I can. No, missionary sex is fine between two people that have like fire ass sex.
I love that. I love that missionary is like, oh, you're doing missionary? You guys are boring as fuck. Like that's just like the stereotype around missionary. It's like, oh, you guys, what are you fucking like virgins? What the hell's wrong with you two?
No, missionary is some good sex with two people with fire ass chemistry, but you know, right now, and oh my God, especially right now, there are all these people arguing that sex is only for procreation and you're not even supposed to enjoy it. And so unfortunately, you know, when everybody thinks of missionary sex, that's what they think about, like baby making sex. But
pretty sure you can make babies all the other positions too.
You absolutely can.
I don't know. I'm not a fucking scientist or anything, but I feel like you can do it in those other positions.
And if you ask some people, you can even make a baby from like a wash rag with spunk on it. But
fuck?
Those people vote. Those people vote. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, where were we? What were you talking about?
I don't know. We just are on the path. Oh, we were talking about relationships? Oh, yeah. You were like saying that you don't think one person can fulfill everything in someone's life.
Right. And you know, like some people need that yin and yang. Like I like really gentle, intimate, sensual relations. And then I like rip my clothes off, push me against the wall, hoist up my ass, and fucking drill me into the wall. And so sometimes one person can't be both those things, you know? Sometimes they can, but I couldn't spend forever with somebody who couldn't, if he wasn't willing to say, okay, you know what? If you need to go find that guy that will just drill you into the wall, then as long as you're coming home to me and as long as we are good, fine.
I feel like, monotony is the death of relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
You need to always be doing something, whether it be different fucking positions or whether it be travel or some sort of shit where it's like, because when you get in routine, then it's like, that's like what kills a lot of relationships, I think, is routine as well. Where it's like, okay, it's 9:00, honey. We haven't had sex in a while. Let's have sex. Okay. Let's go to bed. Okay, I don't want to do this any longer than an hour. Is it in yet? Put it in. All right, good. We're done.
Can't even hear him at the foot of the bed, much less 2 houses down. Yeah,
right,
no, not for me.
Then wake up in the morning and continue on your fucking routine. Yeah, that would suck. I definitely don't think I'll ever get to that point where I have a routine relationship because I just think I don't think I could handle that either. No, and I don't think well, there are people that are made for that. Like there are people that enjoy like having something that is stable and then and like they know what to expect, and there are people that enjoy that for sure. But I think a lot of people, I think most people, if you changed it up just one time, just change it up one time, see what happens.
Yep.
Just change it up. Let's just keep either person on their toes a little bit.
It's true. I don't, like, you'd be amazed though. Like, I was with somebody for a long time who just could not, and I don't want a dominant man. Don't mistake me. I just want a sexually aggressive man sometimes. And he could not be that to save his life. Like, I would not beg, but I would just be like, it's okay. Like, you really can. And he would just get so awkward and so nervous. And the minute he would try, he'd be like, am I hurting you? I'm like, oh no, please just do it.
Oh man.
No, he couldn't. And, great person, great intimate connection, but could that person fulfill me forever? No.
How important is, you think, the sex life in a relationship?
I mean, okay. Complex answer.
Complex. Okay.
You have to have amazing chemistry when you go there. But for me, like in a really successful relationship, it's way down at the bottom of the list in importance. Because if you don't have all the other stuff that's at the top, the sex isn't going to be that great anyway. And, life happens sometimes. And when you're too busy to make that connection, but you're not fulfilling each other in all the important ways, the sex doesn't matter, whether it's good or... So I don't think it's as important as everybody makes it out to be, because without all the other stuff, it's just sex anyway, and we can get that anywhere.
Yes, you can. Well, nowadays, you shouldn't be doing that.
No.
Don't do that.
No. You physically can. You can, not should. Yeah. For a meaningful, good, long-term relationship, I don't think it's as important as everybody makes it out to be, because what's important is being able to make each other laugh and supporting each other in your endeavors. Because what happens if you've had this amazing firecracker sex life for 10 years and your partner is in a debilitating accident and is
I was just going to say, you lose a leg.
Yeah, or worse,
right.
Paralyzed from the neck down.
Right. What
do you have then? You have to completely revise how to connect with each other that way. So it's down there.
It's down there. Okay.
For me. Do
you, when you're talking on the phone with someone or in tangible life, let's not call it real life, let's call it tangible life. Do you know right away, like when you have a spark with someone, or can this spark be found later in conversation? Both. Okay.
Yeah. There are definitely people that I have thought, oh my God, it's not, I would rather poke my eyeballs out with hot pokers, and then they just kind of grow on me. And there are people that I literally know from 5 seconds into the conversation that, yeah, I like the way my tummy feels right now. Yeah.
That's funny. I've noticed both too. I've seen people just meet each other and it's like hot and bothered right away. But then I've seen people that have known each other for 5-10 years and all of a sudden they're dating 10 years later. It's like, what the fuck? He was right there the entire time. But people can grow on each other. Yeah.
Crystallizing moment. There's always a crystallizing moment. What
do you mean by that?
Well, there's almost, in those cases, there's almost always something demonstrable that happens. I was having a really, really hard, bad night, and he brought me ice cream. Or there's just almost something measurable that happens. And sometimes it does subtly, naturally grow and evolve. But I feel like in those instances, there's some sort of vulnerability. And that vulnerability is met in just the right way.
Vulnerability on your side?
Either.
Okay.
That makes the other person go, holy shit.
That motherfucker cares.
This is something different than I thought it was.
Oh, yeah.
Huh. I feel something in my nether regions. Yep.
Who talks like that?
Me.
Okay, so let's say someone listened to this and they're like, I like Wren, I'm going to call her. How do they keep you on the phone?
How do they keep me on the phone?
Yeah.
I mean, how have you kept me on this recording?
Just by talking to you?
Yeah.
Just by hanging out and being normal?
Yeah. I mean, granted, eventually, obviously, when it's that dynamic, things are going to graduate in a different way after a little while. But just be engaging. Like, there's nothing that'll turn me off faster than a one-upper or than somebody who, what's that expression? Waiting for, listening is more than waiting for your turn to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can tell a guy doesn't give a shit about what I have to say about anything and he's just, going through the motions so that he can talk, which is part of what I do to a degree, but that doesn't mean I have to love it. Just being engaging and being natural and yeah.
I think that's important too, is most people don't, that's a great quote. Most people just aren't really listening. They're just waiting. They're just like, okay, what's my next point? What's my next point? Okay. They're not actually taking the time to be like, okay, this is what she said, and now my next thing that I'm going to say is going to be based off of what she said.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's have a conversation instead of me just making points.
Yeah. There's something to be said about a mix of... Here's another thing that I've learned about men.
Okay.
They have a really skewed idea of empathy.
Okay.
So like when I was going through this stuff with my dad,
okay,
the people that really won me over were the people who were like, what can I do? Do you just need to talk? Do you just need for me to talk? Do you need a gift card so you can get your next Starbucks? Like, what can I do? The people that made me want to not sign in for days at a time were the people who were like, oh yeah, my uncle lost his toe one time, so I totally know what you're going through. Fuck you.
Right. It's like, it's showing sympathy instead of empathy.
So that's a common man thing. Like, just be a nice person for God's sake. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I could see. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's just. I think it's just people in general. Like, there's some that can show empathy and some that can't.
It's true. Women are really bad about it. My mom is horrible about it. Like, you've never experienced anything that she hasn't experienced 10 times as bad and for 10 times as long. And yeah, I mean, women are super bad about it too, but I don't have women call me. So
that was going to be one of my questions. Do women ever call you?
3 times ever only.
Really? That's it?
I know. It's horrible. I would love it. But strangely enough, when it did happen, as excited as I was, I froze the fuck up. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do?
This isn't routine.
Yeah.
This isn't what I'm used to. I haven't been trained for this.
Yeah, this is not what I've been practicing for. I
didn't go to school for this.
Freaked me out. And I probably like blew it because I was just like, hi. Like, I didn't know what to do.
That's crazy. I would have thought, because like every night, I'm sure at a strip club, a girl comes in, probably at least like 2-3 times a week, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
sure,
it's not a taboo thing for a girl to walk in. I feel like girls would call. I feel like there's girls that would do it. That's crazy to me, or it's interesting to me that there's only been 3 out of 10,000. Yeah,
girls aren't super prone to pay for companionship. They're just not.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to.
Yeah. You really don't.
And men don't have to. It's great that they do, and I love that they do. And not just for my own benefit. I think it's really symbolic to me that men will do that. I think the world has this horrible, skewed idea of what sex work really is. But women just don't. I don't know.
Are you considered in that field, sex work?
Well, I think so. I mean, a sex worker is providing privilege in exchange for monetization. Or pleasure, not privilege.
I was like, privilege?
We give you privilege. A sex worker provides pleasure for monetization. So.
Oh, okay. I guess, yeah. I mean, I didn't know. I was like, but you're not having sex.
Right. But it's sexual pleasure.
Every time? Guaranteed?
Not a money back. Not a money back guarantee.
No money back. That's for sure.
Yeah, no.
Do you ever have guys go, fucking hey, this was I don't like this. I should get my money back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no recourse, right?
They can get their money back. I can agree to a refund, and they can get their money back.
Oh, really? You shouldn't have said that.
I don't care.
You don't care. You're like, if he sucks, I don't give a fuck. Take your money.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know what? Me freeing up my time with him makes me available for somebody that makes me really happy. So.
Well, how are you on time?
I'm fine.
You're fine? Okay. We'll go like 10, 15 more minutes because I actually, right when I got home, I showered and I haven't eaten dinner yet. So my stomach is like in knots, but I like talking to you so we can keep going for a little bit.
Tony, you're not supposed to eat this late. See?
I haven't eaten dinner. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to not eat?
Well,
I just did a hard work. Like I did a hard workout. No, it wasn't sex. It was a workout.
That's a bummer.
I do CrossFit and yeah, I'm one of those douches. So I do that, and usually I eat right after. But I delayed all that because I was like, I'm having Wren on, and I can't make this girl wait.
And you can't chew in my ear, as you learned if you listen long enough the other night.
Chewing on a podcast is like the worst thing you could do. It's so bad. It's so annoying.
I mean, I love Haas so much.
Oh, he's a fantastic dude.
It's not even funny, but I'm like, dude, you're going to make me vomit on your podcast, and that'll probably be the first time that's ever happened. So it'll either smash your ratings or I don't know.
Do you stay fit?
Well,
you're doing the fasting thing.
Yeah. I need to have better habits, and that's part of what this is all about. Like, I need to be more disciplined because I have been riding the I'm fine wave for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And women are just wired differently. It's going to catch up to me. So I do need to start being more disciplined, and I would love nothing more in the fucking world than to have a house work my shit over. But
he's in group fitness.
Yeah.
That would be what I'd recommend. I wouldn't recommend necessarily CrossFit, although if you like it, do it. But I would recommend some sort of group fitness class because it holds you accountable.
Right.
Not only to yourself, and you're paying in advance, so you're like, fuck, if I'm paying, I have to go.
Right,
but you're going to a class, so you know when it's going to be. You don't have to think because they plan the workout for you, and you're done in like an hour.
Right.
And hopefully it's a great workout, and you have like good coaches. But like, you don't have to think. You know every time it's going to be there. You're paying for it, and you're held accountable.
Right.
Instead of like going to the gym and being like, oh, I'm going to go on the elliptical now, and then I'm going to pick up these weights and maybe do some curls.
And I'm tired. And this is lame.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna go home.
Right.
Yeah.
And especially if you don't have someone that you can go with consistently.
Right.
It's really, unless you're like super self-motivated about your body, it's tough to do that all the time.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to.
I'm not. I have made a commitment that like I'm going to use the facilities on the boat just because I'm going to be eating like I'm going to get off the boat and walk into my 600-pound life. But I have made a commitment to do that. So hopefully that will like kickstart some. I'm going to walk the deck every day because, hello, I'm going to have like Alaska in the background. And I'm going to use the gym. So, yeah, here's hoping.
Here's hoping. I mean, all you have to do, though, is you literally just have to be like, one day I'm going to do. Here's the thing. If you do something for 30 consecutive days, it becomes part of your routine.
Yeah.
It becomes a habit. Because like motivation wanes on a daily basis. Like you could be super motivated one day, and then the next day you're like, "Fuck, I'm not doing that. I'm fucking tired and sick." But if you do something, if you make it a point to do something, like literally in a calendar, like check it off every day. I'm doing this 30 days in a row. By the end of that, you'll be like, if you don't do that thing, you'll feel like you should. You'll feel bad that you don't do it.
Right.
So if you just go 30 days in a row of something you want to do, it becomes a habit.
Yeah.
Not to preach to you too much, but just trying to help you out, Wren.
I know.
I care. You know, you're down there. You're down there in Southern Illinois, just wallowing away, like
in the middle of all this corn.
Yeah, in the middle of all that corn, just like not working out, being like, I'm good. I'm
not entirely slothful. I do things.
I could tell in your voice you're like, I need to do more.
Masturbation burns a lot of calories.
Does it? What do you think? How many? That doesn't burn that much, does it?
Let's find out. Hang on, we're gonna look it up.
This up. Google this shit. We're on computers.
Masturbation.
And how often are you doing that?
Wouldn't you like to know?
$1.65.
See, you already have my rate memorized. You're doing the mental math. You're like, okay, $1.65 times. Okay, you can lose between 100 to 150 calories for each act of masturbation, according to the Young People's Reproductive and Sexual Health and Rights Organization. You can raise that amount to around 300 calories, though, through a 5-minute vigorous masturbation session.
What? Vigorous? Like, what does that mean?
Well, that's like the hips thrusting and sweat building, and not just like, this is good.
Not just like, I got to get this in so I can get it in, and okay, that felt good for that minute. Okay. Well, I mean, you know, I feel like you can get it in other ways. I'm just saying. You know, do the masturbation. But then
thank you.
Tag it with the workout, so you're double teaming that shit.
Anthony, Tony, you don't know how vigorous my masturbation.
I don't. We just met. I don't
really
know.
like that word. I'm going to use it all the time now. Vigorous masturbation.
Yeah, if you do some vigorous masturbation, you're on the path to where you want to be.
I masturbated vigorously today.
And it was amazing, and I lost so much weight.
Yes! I masturbated that ding-dong right off my ass.
I know we talked about this earlier, but seriously, your voice is like the quintessential phone sex.
Is it like female TJ, or does TJ still win?
I feel like TJ still. TJ's got that. I don't even know. We've talked about him so much, but he does have that voice.
He does. He
has that radio voice. Yeah,
it should be a crime.
He has that voice sexy. That he should be hosting like late night like talk shows where they play like a whatchamacallit, a saxophone. Like his intro should have like a saxophone, and then he comes in.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, right. Hey, this is TJ with the.
Yeah.
And then he should just be taking callers, preferably female, where they just call in and they talk about like their issues with their relationships and stuff, or their sexual, and he can just like talk them back into shape.
He can be that Ryan Gosling meme that, hey girl, it's okay if you want to, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he can be that, only like live. Yeah. There is only one, and it's funny. Well, prior to tonight, there is only one other podcaster, and I've actually never been on their podcast. I was just a really big fan for a long time.
Yeah.
And his voice is like completely different and completely not even in like the same demographic, but he's the only prior to tonight other podcaster who I've listened to and just been like, fuck, I don't care what you say. Just say it.
So you're saying tonight you liked what I was saying? You liked just me talking?
I'll have to say that because I'm talking to you. No, you do have a really nice voice.
Yeah, rate my voice. It's not TJ level for sure.
Rate it? No, it's not a TJ level.
No.
Oh God, I wish I could say the name of this podcast that I was a part of for a while, but remember when I messaged you and I'm like, my dog doesn't like all male voices.
Wait, say that again?
When I messaged you earlier and told you that, you might not have gotten my email, my dog
yes.
doesn't love all male voices.
Right.
So I had completely erased this podcast from my mind, and they just popped up in my feed because somebody retweeted them or whatever, and I played them, and my dog went crazy. Like, they have the worst voices ever. So, like, on a scale of them to TJ, you're absolutely like a 9.
Oh, wow.
8, 9.
Damn,
yeah.
I'll take an 8-9.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I got like a bro-y voice.
Maybe?
I don't know. That's how I would describe it. Then again, I'm not continually listening to myself. Literally, I do these podcasts and I don't even listen back because I don't care. I've lived them. I don't need to listen. I'm not the type to want to listen back to myself talk.
Right.
But I feel like I have like a bro-y, like fratty kind of voice. I don't know.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Maybe.
Because, like, you could have TJ, if TJ talked like pretty much everybody who lives where I live talks, then I would be like, I don't like your voice.
Right.
Like, I seen you as at the, like, no.
You don't like the Southern kind of drawl?
That's not Southern. That's ignorant redneck.
Oh, okay.
Like bad grammar and yeah.
Sure.
So I think you're like way more articulate and thoughtful, mindful than what you're describing to me.
Okay. All right. I'll take that. Oh, I like to like surprise people. Like, you're like, oh, I'm just talking to this fucking jock that talks about on his podcast how he hooks up with girls, and then you realize you're talking to me like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
That's not him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got a nice voice as well.
Do I really?
You do.
Wow.
But you have that, like, you accentuate the last letter of words. You do that thing. Like, wow. Like, you have the, I don't even know. It's like the quintessential phone sex voice.
Okay.
It's flirty. It's definitely flirty. It's like, I remember right off the bat talking to you, I was going, oh, yeah, she does. She definitely works. This is not surprising. This is not surprising.
That's just me, though. Like, it's really not a bit. Like, it's just, I don't know. Well, it's how I interact with people I'm comfortable with, you know,
Yeah.
if I'm, yeah.
I was worried. I was going, is this gonna devolve into just a bit where she's doing her bit and I have to try to reel her in, and then or I just play along with the bit and the entire conversation is just us flirting and doing a bit? I'm glad it didn't. And I mean, if it turned into a bit, I would see if I could hold my own. That's part of the reason I do this, is just to test myself and see if I can talk to as many different fucking people as possible. So
Right.
it would have been interesting, but I'm glad it turned into a regular conversation.
Sorry, I didn't give you enough of a challenge.
No. How did I hold up as far as the challenge? The not to make this not boring.
You did well.
Did well? Okay.
I mean, it wasn't boring. You know, it's inevitable that people are going to ask the same questions I've been asked 100 times.
You got to. You got to.
Yeah,
if you're on the show first time, you got to ask those questions.
Right. It's fine.
We got to get to know you. Well, I'm getting a little hungry.
Yeah, I would think so.
But is there anything you want to plug before we end this?
If you dig me and you enjoy listening to me, find my Twitter, at Songbird Wren, all one word, Wren with a W, not Wren like Wren and Stimpy. And if you can't figure that out, my website is sweetvirtualgirlfriend.com. There you will find my blog and all the links you need to get a hold of me.
Perfect. Well, Wren, enjoy your trip, first off.
Yeah.
Get out to Alaska and eat everything and maybe spend a little time in the gym, but mostly walk the deck and have a great time.
Yes.
And when you get back and in the future, we should definitely hook up again and have you on the podcast. Because you're interesting as fuck, and I appreciated your conversation. So.
Aw, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
No problem.
This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
And welcome to the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. I'm Sean.
And I'm Ian.
Hey, Ian.
Yeah.
Did you know you could find us on the Danger Entertainment Network?
Danger
Entertainment. That's right.
Sounds dangerous.
It is. It's a tad bit dangerous. You'd be shocked to find that out. There's a bunch of great podcasts you can find there. Our friends from the History of Bad Ideas podcast. Who to What Now? Decided Geek. No, they retired. That's right. They retired. But there are a bunch of other great podcasts you can find there, along with us. We're the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast, and we do pop culture and chili cheese dogs and whatever else floats our fancy.
Yeah.
Check us out.
For sure.
We're on most podcatchers, so give us a look.
Peace.